Kevin Harvick has, he may have a little different transmission than some of these guys, but because he sure seems like when he gets on the button, that thing goes. Look, he's already 10 car lengths ahead of Boris right here, and Boris is, certainly his reputation precedes him.
You know, it's interesting to watch the styles of these drivers. There are different styles on this course. Some guys are real smooth going through those turns, and other guys just kind of muscle that car around this racetrack.
Tim Richmond, the late Tim Richmond, was a terrific road racer, and he muscled this car around here. But Bill Elliott's a good road racer. Terry Labonte's a good road racer as far as stock car drivers, and they're extremely smooth. So you can get it done many ways.
Now the battle for second place, and Holmes in the 62 putting a little pressure on Boris Said. The 12 of Brandon Krause off course momentarily, but he's back on. Good job by Brandon.
Looks like he's got a left front tire going flat. Yeah, he didn't realize it. He had a left front tire going down. Got to the next corner, he had to turn right, and the left front tire being flat wouldn't hold him, so he's got to take it easy till he gets back to the pits.
Boy, he is in trouble. You know, we're talking about guys who run this series a lot, and if you follow this series, you may not have heard us say the name of M.K. Kankey, who was on the pole here a year ago and did not qualify for this race.
They had trouble. Was here and attempted to qualify, had trouble, got off course, and did not make it.
Now the battle for second place. Boris Said, the renowned road racer who runs so well in the Trans Am series.
Look at Jim Inglebright trying to make a move down in turn number 11 here.
Inglebright also a great road racer. And you may have heard us mention that Inglebright won this race the last 3 years, so don't count him out today.
Absolutely not. That is the best passing place area on the racetrack, is going in turn 11. That's where Vernon Lamar, unfortunately, has spun in turn 11. Again, you go from fourth gear, if you come off turn 10, a little short chute, you go all the way down to second. Some guys even go down to first gear. You get a lot of wheel hop there. That's why a lot of these guys turn around.
And most of these guys aren't experienced at making that kind of move, that kind of turn, that kind of shift in their car.
That's right. Not, the only road race these guys run. So if they're not a road racing specialist, they don't get a lot of practice doing it.
Augie Vidovich is your points leader. Let's go down to Steve with a report on Augie.
Guys, 22-year-old Augie Vidovich Jr. is proving he can handle the pressure in this sport. When the season started, his team had just enough funding to run the first 3 races of the season. But they've run so well, they've been able to go race to race. He finished second at Mesa Marin. His worst finish this year is 6th. Again, he's the points leader, and he wants to run the rest of his schedule. He's in the 11th position.
Had a top 5 in Irwindale last week. Pretty consistent season for Augie Vidovich. Wow. Brandon Witt. All kinds of damage on that car. The youngster had driven so well in this race. 20-year-old Brandon Witt seems to be okay. Rodman also involved in it.
Yeah, I've got to believe he was involved in it. Wow.
But look at all that sheet metal debris coming off of Brandon Witt's car.
It actually moved the wall back. You can see the wall has been moved back by the contact.
Well, Brandon Witt is a 20-year-old engineering student at a community college in Bakersfield. He'll pursue a 4-year degree. Earlier this season, he ran in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Mesa Marin, did a great job. He will also race later this year at Kentucky and again in Fontana, California. But right now, he is not a very happy young racer.
Boy, and he is definitely angry at Rodman, not happy with Rodman at all. Rodman was ahead of him on the racetrack. Kevin Harvick is ahead of everybody right now after 52. Rodman's also out. More on this. Let's go down to Steve Burns.
Craig Rodman back in the garage. Craig, what happened on the racetrack? I know you had high hopes with a new chassis. What happened?
Well, just getting down towards the end of the race and racing real hard with a couple of guys there and going down the front straightaway. Just heading up the hill there at turn 1, someone got into my left rear here and knocked me out of control. I tried to recover, but got up in the marbles and lost it and ended up in the hillside. And there's a major wreck happened after that with some other cars. So not the place to pass. I don't know what someone would be trying to pass there for, but unfortunately we're out. Car was pretty good. Not as good as we would hope, but I think we had a good top 10 finish today, but unfortunately it didn't work that way, and we'll have to come back and get him next time.
Craig, it looked like Brandon Witt wasn't happy. Do you know what he was upset about?
Well, I know he's out there pointing at me, but I'm not the one. I was the guy that was in front of him, and you know, I don't understand that. I mean, I don't think that was the appropriate place to pass anybody at that kind of speed in that narrow part of the track.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay.
About ready to restart this race now. 11 laps to go. Phil, does anybody have anything for Kevin Harvick?
Well, unless Boris is holding back like Donnie Richardson said earlier, I haven't been able to see anybody yet that showed any kind of a challenge to Kevin Harvick so far.
Under green, and Harvick again is very impressive on the restart.
He really, but it looked like Boris laid back a little bit there for some reason, but never closed the gap up. Looked like he wanted the time to start, but wasn't able to do it. And here Kevin already has an 8-10 car length lead going up the hill.
So Kevin Harvick, California native, now making his home in North Carolina, leads this race. Winston Cup driver for Richard Childress. Has 3 wins in this series, one in Tucson in 1995. Mace Marini won twice in 98 and 99, but never finished in the top 10 in points in this series.
Yeah,
he did a lot of racing.
Yeah, I think he raced some Winston West, so I don't think he ever ran the full schedule, but he's obviously very competitive every time he gets in a car.
And loves coming back to his native California to race. This is the battle for second place. That's Holmes in the 62 right behind Boris.
Watch Jim Inglebright, see if he tries to make another dive here, turn 11. He's driving on the inside. Look at Eric Holmes come all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Some contact.
How about that?
You know, these guys had some contact last year. That's how Jim Inglebright got the lead from Eric Holmes.
And Inglebright and Holmes side by side. Again, Inglebright has won the last 3 races here and showing his road course expertise.
Going into a narrow part of the race. Lose contact again. Going to take them both off course.
Inglebright and Holmes battling towards the front. And boy, that's going to knock him back a few spots. Inglebright able to keep going.
Yeah, look at Eric Holmes has turned around here. So he's going to lose a number of positions. The fortunate thing, there's only about 14 cars in the lead lap, but he's going to be right at the tail end of the lead lap cars.
And he was battling for second place with Boris Said and had a real chance in this race. What a tough break for Holmes. Meanwhile, Inglebright now posted in the 7th position. That's where he started this race.
Yeah, he lost 4 positions because he had just passed, obviously, Eric Holmes going in turn 11 for the 3rd position. So a tough break for both these guys.
There you see the bright yellow car of Jim Inglebright now in 7th place. Let's take a look again at what happened between these two.
Here they're going in turn 1 here. See, Eric Holmes gets right on his bumper, and this just never turns him loose and sends them both off course. Another look at it. He got Jim sideways, and then by the time he collected, he had to turn left, but he was turning right to try to save the car, and he ran out of racetrack.
And Augie Vidovich, our points leader, stopped on the course. Racing back to the caution now. This is the battle for 3rd place. The 63 is Dave Brown. Kenny Shepard is there as well.
You know, Dave Brown told me that he's had his eye on this race, Mike, for 8 years. He's been road racing, SCCA, club racing, NASA club racing. He's had his eye on getting a race car for this race for 8 solid years.
He's making the most of it right now as he's got a top 5 race car. As you can see, the yellow flag waving. We're under caution. Steve Petty out of Fairfield, California, also stopped off the course.
No relation to the Petties of Randleman, North Carolina.
There's our leader, Kevin Harvick. Interesting hairdo. Well, the checkered flag is shortly here at Sonoma. Main here. One guy who's made quite a move up, Phil, is Tyler McQuarrie. Started 22nd, now running in the top 5. It's his first ever race in a stock car.
Incredible. Won the prestigious Jim Russell World Scholarship a few years ago. There's Tyler right there. He's actually not from Novato, California. He's from Walnut Creek, California. Currently running 5th, but a terrific job. He's currently running USAC Sprinters out here on the West Coast.
And what a job, considering that's his first time muscling one of these big stock cars around a racetrack.
Talked to his lovely wife, Erin, earlier. They're really excited about being here.
And I know she's got to be certainly excited right now down behind the pits at what her husband Tyler has done as we're ready to go. Green flag racing. McQuarrie in the top 5, 6 laps left. And again, let's see the jump Kevin Harvick gets. And again, he gets a great one.
Again, just up at turn 2 right there, and he's already got 6-8 car lengths. Incredible job.
So Harvick leads. Boris Said is in second place.
Kenny Shepard third right there, the 9 car. There's Dave Brown, the 63. He's actually a teammate to Eric Holmes. The 62 and the 63 are teammates. Dave told me that they built a brand new car for him to come here and run this race, his very first start ever.
Boy, Macquarie got way wide, but he's able to recover. There you see Boris Said in second place, and look behind in the battle for third. Are you kidding me? Shepard hangs on to the spot, but not without a little bumping from Mr. Brown.
Yeah, these are the S's right here. It's extremely difficult to pass through here. They were just starting in the S's. Looked like Dave Brown ran over a curb. Car jumped up in the air, and he came down and ran into Kenny Shepard, but was able to, both of them able to maintain control.
Dave Brown out of Wind Lake, Wisconsin. Started 17th. Now battling for third place, running fourth behind Shepard. And look at Macquarie. He's running in the top 5, and there's Scott Busby, a tough break.
It looked like I don't know if he got in the corner too hot or might have had a little help. These cars are so bunched up on these restarts that it's not hard for these guys to get a little bit of contact. And you're trying to get down to 30, 35 miles an hour in turn 11 there. It doesn't take much to get you turned around.
Busby running on the lead lap. His best finish in this series of 5th back in 1998.
See the rest of the field go down. There's a little bit of debris on the racetrack there. That's turn 11. I'm not sure exactly what that is, Mike. That's a brake fan. That's an inline brake fan that these guys run here to cool these brakes.
But there is no caution flag. And Kevin Harvick, that is good news for him because he has been so dominant, great on the restarts, and I'm sure with just a couple of laps to go now, he does not want to see another yellow flag.
You know, one reason he doesn't want to see a yellow flag is because, you know, he pitted back a lap on 20-something on that second caution flag. When he made his second pit stop, that was a caution flag. So they may have a little bit of concern over fuel. So he would rather not see a green, white check. Oh, there's Kenny Shepard. And it looks like he got into the wall there coming off turn number 10.
Shepard, who was battling in the top 5, spins off the course. Eddie McKeon, who has run well in this series this year.
Oh, another car gets turned around.
That's the 65 of Stan Silva. Howard Ford in that 0, and there's McKeon, last year's series champion, right behind them.
You know, these guys come into turn 11 so fast. They're in 4th gear, and they got to go all the way down to 2nd, maybe even 1st gear, that these guys, you know, they brake at different rates. It looked like Augie Vidovich got in the back of Stan Silva, and that's what turned him around.
Coming out from Ford's car.
Yeah, it's just raw fuel out of the exhaust pipe. Really nothing to worry about. When the car gets fired up, then the fuel burns away. But unfortunately, you know, and that happens so often here in turn number 11 at this racetrack where these guys make contact. See some debris on the front of Howard Ford's car.
That looked like it came out of Stan Silva's car, and
he left it on the racetrack there. He didn't take it with him.
We are under caution. McKeon able to back away and keep going.
There's Kenny Shepard. You see him get sideways, and as he tries to correct it, the car goes the other way, made pretty hard contact with the tire barrier. Tough break. He was running in 3rd position there. Look, Eddie McKeon just gets wide, Mike, just gets out in the marbles there. Coming into turn number 10, or coming out of turn number 10, I should say, but fortunately makes no contact. And there's Augie Vidovich, the yellow car, getting the back of Stan Silva. They're turning him around.
Boy, Vidovich came out of that one pretty clean.
Boy, sure
pretty
did.
Good. He was right behind Silva, and you see Vidovich, who's the series points leader, able to keep on going.
And Howard Ford had nowhere to go. He was committed to the outside, and that's the direction that Stan Silva went.
And Silva, I don't think, is very happy at all. And may have felt he was turned around a little bit.
And he was right. He did get turned around, without a doubt.
And now, Phil, this is really going to set up a dramatic finish, a green-white checkered.
This is, I think, the last thing Kevin Harvick wanted, because he may be a little short on fuel. I know his guys in the pits are a little bit worried about having enough fuel. They did not want a green-white checker, but they've got one.
And I think we have got an exciting finish on the way. Does Kevin Harvick have enough? He's been dominant today. A green-white checkered finish on the way from Sonoma, California. Welcome back to Infineon Raceway. We are ready for a green-white checkered finish coming up in just a moment. I think a lot of guys have to be planning some strategy right now. What about Jim Engelbright? Won this race 3 years in a row. Started 7th, running 5th right now.
I think he definitely wants to try to make a move going in turn number 11. That's the best passing zone. If he can get him before that, great. But he's got to be set up. He's got to get through turn 10 well to set him up for the long, little short shoot and beat somebody, outbreak him down into turn number 11.
There's Eagle Bright out of Fairfield, California. As we said, started 7th and running in 5th place. Well,
he's got another race to run tonight. He's going to run a Winston West race in Richland, Washington tonight. So he's going to be busy.
Busy guy, busy day, and yeah, he's banged that car around just a little bit today.
Yeah, that's from the contact with Eric Holmes earlier.
Well, Steve Burns is down in the pits of our leader, Kevin Harvick. Let's head down to Steve.
Well, Ed Barrier, I heard Kevin say the car's so good he's having fun. He's just killing them on the restarts.
Yeah, he's having a lot of fun out there. That's good for him. I mean, get him in shape, you know, to go run good tomorrow. And we just built this car to come out here. It's a brand new car, and I thank Jay Hitchcock and, you know, all these boys here that worked on this car, put this thing together. And, Meropolis got a good motor in it. Things running good. Just hope it stay together here for the next few laps.
All right, good luck, Ed.
Thanks. I want to thank Snap-on, too.
Well, you know, as we get ready to go green, and even a guy who's run a lot of races like Kevin Harvick starts to hear things right now with just a couple laps to go, and he's been the dominant car, the car to beat all day long, and we're under green here. Just a couple laps remain to decide it here at Infineon Raceway.
He's still got a little bit of a jump on Boris. This may be the, I don't know, I was going to say maybe the best restart Boris had, but he's still about 6, 8 car lengths behind Kevin Harvick. By the time they get up to turn number 2, he's 6, 8 car lengths ahead.
That motor is something in that car. And then Boris is going to have his for second place. Dave Brown, as you see, is right on his bumper.
There's Jim Engelbright right now all over. Look at on the inside of Tyler McQuarrie right there.
We told you the story about McQuarrie in that white 49. His first time behind the wheel of a stock car, and he's done a pretty good job. Cannot hold off Engelbright, though.
Engelbright made a great move in turn number 7 here. Now he's one spot closer. Let's see if he can get up there and race with Dave Brown and Boris Said now for the 2nd, 3rd position.
Engelbright, Said, and Brown, all with extensive road racing experience.
Here they come off turn number 10 right there, but it doesn't look like Engelbright's going to be close enough to challenge those guys for 2nd, 3rd. Look at Tyler McQuarrie on the outside. Dave Bird, the green car in 17, was trying to take advantage of Tyler McQuarrie going to the outside, but wasn't able to do so.
And you saw the white flag flying for Kevin Harvick. Final time around this 1.99-mile road course.
Look what a lead he got in 1 lap. He's got at least a 2-second lead on these guys in 1 lap.
Harvick really hammering down now on the final lap.
But Dave Brown is all over Boris Said right now, though. So we'll see what happens if he 2 passing zones, getting into turn number 7 and getting into turn number 11. Those are the best passing zones.
You heard Ed Barrier say that Kevin Harvick just having a good time today. And boy, he really is having a good time here on this last lap. He's been the dominant car all day. Native of Bakersfield, California, now makes his home in Kernersville. Winston Cup driver,
right there.
going through the S's, as you see. Just a couple more turns for Kevin Harvick. He has 3 wins to his credit in this series. His first one came in 1995.
Coming off turn number 10, down to turn number 11 for the last time.
He can almost coast it from here.
He can coast from here, even from 30 miles an hour.
So Kevin Harvick headed for the checkered flag. They're waving, and Kevin Harvick has won here at Infineon Raceway.
Boris Said was able to get 2nd position, stayed in 2nd. Dave Brown finished 3rd. Great run for Jim Engelbright to fight back to 4th position. And Tyler McQuarrie with his first start ever in 5th.
Window net comes down, and the arm out the window is Kevin Harvick. Had some fun this afternoon and got himself ready for the Winston Cup race that'll be run tomorrow. Kevin Harvick, the winner of the Snap-on Jelly Belly 200. We'll talk to him in just a moment. And for some drivers, there were some adventures out here today.
Boy, sure were. This is a very tough racetrack here. 11 turns roughly, and every one of them poses its own challenges.
Your pole sitter, Todd Sousa, had a tough day here getting off the course and into the tires. Young Brandon Witt was running well. Didn't like the way Craig Rodner felt that he turned him around a little bit. And then these two guys had a chance to win, Englebright and Holmes.
Yeah, had to really hurt both of their finishing position, even though Englebright fought his way back to fourth.
Eddie McKeon, last year's champion, involved in that altercation there. And no altercations for Kevin Harvick, doing some burnouts and donuts here to the delight of the crowd.
Kevin likes to do those burnouts and donuts.
It's his car. He owns it.
He can do it if he wants to.
Do what you want to do.
Terrific job, though, by these guys. Good friend of mine, Jay Hitchcock, as you heard Ed Barrier say, built a chassis on this car. Actually helped me build my very first race car. Jay Hitchcock did when he worked for Tex Powell.
The great guys in racing. You know, it doesn't matter really, I think, what division you're in. When you take the checkered flag, it's a great thing.
It sure is, because I mean each one of these guys works so hard to try to get there, and then when you can beat them on that given day, it's just a sense of accomplishment. It's unlike anything I've ever felt before when you're able to finally win a race.
Take a look at the final results. Boris Said was second. Dave Brown, James Englebright, Tyler McQuarrie ran a good race.
Nathan Teesey rounded up top 10. Great run by him.
He's a rookie. Augie Vidovich, the points leader, comes home 11th. Eddie McKeon won the championship a year ago.
There's Todd Souza, our pole sitter, back in 21st.
Kenny Shepard had a chance today.
He was up in the top 5 very late in the race. See Robbie Gordon, the bottom of that page, her last minute substitute, and had trouble with the transmission.
Now down at Victory Lane, Kevin Harvick is climbing out of the car, and a huge smile on his face. Let's go down to Steve Burns.
And Kevin Harvick wins his 4th race in the Southwest Tour Series. It's been a while between wins. The last one in 1999. Kevin, it looked like you had a lot of fun out there.
I did. You know, last year we kind of embarrassed ourselves, and Snap-on, this is a big deal to them, and they support our RCR effort and everything at Kevin Harvick Incorporated. So this is good for Denny Chittick and Carl Johansson and all the guys at Snap-on. But heck, man, we have a lot of fun in this thing. We built it just for this race and just to come out and have a good time. You know, a lot of people look at me and say, why do you do that stuff? But I enjoy racing the Southwest Tour and really just anything that, you know, that got me to where I am today. I feel like I owe the Southwest Tour and the Winston West and the Truck Series. But it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to come back and race with some of the guys that I used to race with and just really just support the Southwest Tour.
I was going to say there's a lot of history in this series. Ron Hornaday, yourself, Matt Crafton, Kurt Busch, a lot of guys came out of this tour.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was Rookie of the Year in I think 95 and went up to the Winston West and Kurt Busch and Hornaday, and Hornaday kind of laid the groundwork for all of us, and to come back at one of the places he dominated, that's pretty cool.
Augie Vidovich maintains the points lead. Eric Holmes, 99 points back. Jim Pettit is in 3rd place. But today, the story was Kevin Harvick, the winner here at Sonoma. For Steve Burns and Phil Parsons, I'm Mike Hogwood. So long from Infinity on Raceway. The story was